James Delaney is not a normal human being. He is something more. Hey, I'm G, and this is the G-Spot. Yes, I ask, what is James Delaney? Because I question whether James is a human. I think James is more than this. They are giving us quite a few reasons to believe this. We see that James is taking on, as Thoit says, king and company. Yet James has no fear of any of this. He knows somebody's trying to kill him. None of this stops James. James walks around like he is removed from the reality around him. Despite the warnings he's been given about Nootka Sound, he has a confidence that seems to be greater than himself. In addition to this, James knows way too many things. Both in the first and second episode, James had knowledge that didn't belong to him. He knew things about his father that Brace outright told us he just shouldn't know. He also knew things about the treaty signing again. Again, things that James just shouldn't know. When James goes to visit Dr. Dumbarton, who is an American spy, James knows the passcode lingo that the Americans use. James definitely has a lot of knowledge that he really shouldn't. How is he getting this knowledge? Also, in the first episode, James tells us that he knows things about the dead. Let's look at a couple other things that James tells us in the first episode. After his father's burial, Zilpha approaches him in the cemetery and she asks, "I thought you were dead." And what is James's reply to Zilpha? "I am." Now, when I first saw this, I thought James is a sarcastic guy. I'm not the same guy I used to be, or things have certainly changed while I've been lost somewhere for 10 years and presumed dead. But I'm starting to see this differently. He tells her, "I am dead." Then, in the same episode, when he's with Brace, Brace looks at James and says, "You look the same." James's reply to Brace is, "I'm not." I think he's telling us something. That he's not the James Delaney that disappeared 10 years ago, and that James Delaney is actually dead. So where's that leave us? How's he walking around? Well, I think we're looking at a scenario where it's very possible that James Delaney has either been improved by some kind of supernatural being or power to be more than he once was, where he was once human, that he's now more than human. Maybe he's an immortal, or maybe he's a human with specific abilities, or James Delaney did actually die and his body has become possessed by some kind of super being or spirit. So I know, this all sounds crazy, and for the most part, you would think, no. This is not a supernatural show. It's just a dramatic show. It's dated in 1814. It's about a brother and sister that want to bang, and the brother rebuilding the family business and seeking revenge for his mother, because that's in there too. But no, this is a supernatural show, and we do know this. In the first two episodes, there are spirits and ghosts watching James. In the first episode, it happens at the meeting at the end with East India Company, when East India Company is basically trying to take Nootka Sound from James, and we can see a ghost appear in the bookshelf behind them. And at first I thought maybe that was just shadows, but if you watch the scene, the spirit very specifically is not there in one shot and is there in the next shot. It is something that they added to the scene, that they put in. In the second episode, we see James on the ship that he bought when he realizes that it was used for a slave ship, and James goes into mourning for the slaves, and we see a ghost who looks like Horace watching James there. So this is a supernatural show. It is not just a straight drama, and I believe that we are not watching a normal human being with James. We are seeing someone that has powers beyond the normal person. Whether he's an immortal, a spirit, or what, I am not exactly sure yet. But James Delaney is not a normal human being. He is something more. He's just fucking horrible.